What are we doing tonight at A+ Paranormal?
A Bible study.
Smoking a blunt.
This is a pre-service. We'll never filter ourselves.
God created this medicine, and we're using it for what it was intended for. Pain, relief, and inspiration.
God made it for a reason, right? We're actually at Blanchard tonight. The kind of thing that I'm thinking, why would you do a Bible study in a cemetery at night? We already read the Bible at every place, right? Almost. We haven't recently. We're going to start doing it again, but we're going to actually put together a good study. Usually I have a few highlighted passages we'll read. You explain what equipment we're using?
Basically, what this equipment does is it goes through frequencies. Well, it plays on an exact frequency. I don't know if it's like a beep,
Kind of, sort of.
but it'll play at a frequency that is apparently supposed to attract demons
Spirits.
or spirits.
Or whatever's invisible that's still here on this earth that we can't see. We ain't going to touch big into it, but we will touch big into it here in the next following months. How, Christian views are, because some Christians do not mess with ghost hunting. And matter of fact, we're kind of bending the rules here. You ask some people, you can't bend the rules. See if we can't learn something, and then we're going to kind of talk about what we went over, and then maybe the cat ball will go off. We didn't bring all our equipment. We're not here for that. Right, we've been out here so many times. Whose is it? We've been out here so many times. This place is not haunted. Or whatever's out here, if there is anything out here. I hope you come to our Bible study. I'm surprised we got this many to the Bible study, right? I didn't know what y'all's input would be on a Bible study in the middle of a cemetery. Right?
We're always down.
I ain't got nothing else to do besides play games, so.
Brother Chase, I'm going to give you the Bible. You hear it? Just a low hum.
It's up all the way. Yeah.
What? Cat ball? I'll put it behind me. I'm not going to try to put it on a grave or nothing. And you can simply just put it as close as I can to a grave. Should we sit or should we stand?
I'm cool standing.
Alright, you boys ready for this? This is episode 1 of our Bible study. We'll get better at this, right?
Ep.1.
Tonight at A+ Paranormal Group, what we're doing at this cemetery is quite simple, right? We're going to read the Bible. We got the generator on Jake's phone and a cat ball, and that's just to keep our curiosity still at bay, right? The very first thing we're going to talk about is bad people, liars, thieves, and we're not gonna get into any stories in the Bible about that. I'm just gonna simply read y'all some scriptures, and then after I read the scriptures, we can discuss it. Right? This is Romans chapter 3, paragraph 23. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Here's another one. There are 6 things the Lord hates: a lying tongue, a heart that devises wicked scheme, a false witness who pours out lies. Those are some of the commandments, if you believe in Jesus Christ. And, we're bending the rules too, because we'll get into it later. Like I said, we're not supposed to be dabbling with this stuff. So whenever we we got a curiosity, right? Listen to this. The dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. And this is a really good one too. In Luke, disciples think they see a ghost. Jesus says, touch me and see. A spirit does not have flesh and bone, because he's walking on water towards the disciples, right? And, they see a man walking on water. It's never been done. You got to listen to these because we're going to discuss it. That's what Bible study is. We listen to it and then we discuss what we heard. Okay, so this one's the one that I was telling you guys. This is the one we're kind of bending the rules. Everybody's bending the rules. I'm not saying that, you're not Christian if you follow by the Bible, and that's what I'm saying. We're going to get deeper into it as weeks go on, but I'm just going to touch on this a little bit. Let no one be found among you who practices divination and consults with the dead. Take it in. Wait, don't say nothing. We'll discuss it at the end, but take it in. Let me read it one more time to you boys. Put the light back down here. Let no one be found among you who practice divination and consults with the dead. Okay, so we're going to move on. I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to say what I think. I want you to say what you think. I want you to say what you think, all right? What do you think the Bible means when it says the spirit returns to God? And what I think, the spirit returns to God. If you believe in God and you did right, and your time's over, you go somewhere else. What do you think, Jake?
Sounds about right.
About right. Chase?
Yeah, I mean, as Brian was saying, basically implying that, if you're a Christian, you pass and go back to where God created you originally, wherever that is, heaven or whatnot.
Let's move on to question number 2, all right? Do you believe all ghostly experiences are demonic, or could some be human? What that means is, they say demons, aren't humans or whatever, but we don't know. If you go to heaven, you get banished to hell, and you get out of hell, right? What if you could be a demon on the earth? I'm not saying everything is a demon. What do you think?
What was that one again?
Do you believe all ghostly experiences are demonic, or could some of them be a human spirit?
I definitely would say, yeah. I mean, some of them could definitely be a human spirit. To any spirit or whatever you may encounter on earth is not, that of a holy one. That's pretty astonishing.
And
what would determine that?
We'll get further into it, because the Bible does touch a little bit. It never specifically says. So, Jake, you think the same thing?
Yeah.
How can we respect the dead, not just here, but every day? I'm going to go first. I think, if they come through and let you know they're there, and they give you a spirit box that says get out, or, something that tells you to stop, respect it, stop.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm going to go everywhere I can to see legitimate ghosts. No, that's one thing about us, right? We'll use apps, we'll play around with it, but most of the time we label our videos, we're like we didn't capture anything because we don't have that solid proof, right? What do you think? I'll read the question again. How can we respect the dead, not just here, but every day?
I mean, I'd say, everywhere we go on these explorations, we're giving them respect in the form of sharing the history and stuff, their history, keeping their history alive, and paying our tribute and respects to them that way. But when we try to contact them, we try to keep it respectful in the questions we ask, and the way that we interact, just like we're interacting with an actual person right in front of us.
Yep. We don't try to ask them sexual questions, nothing like that. Okay, so what do you think? How can you respect the dead in your everyday life?
Just be respectful, Don't overstep. And remember them.
Brother Chase, you put the flashlight back down there. Do not let your hearts be troubled. My Father's house has many rooms. And that's John chapter 14, paragraph 1 through 3. And like I said, we're not going to read deep into it. I am going to flip the page eventually, read some, but we're not going to read the stories yet. We're reading the scriptures. Later on, we'll get deeper into it. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. God of light and life, we thank you for the time to gather, reflect, and wonder. As we stand in the place of memory, we ask for your peace to cover us and this ground. Help us live life through kindness and courage. Give us wisdom as we explore the mysteries around us, and keep our heart anchored in your love. I don't know about you guys. I don't know, how much of the Bible have you read in the past 6 months? Only what we've done. Right, exactly. So if we just do this once a week, and there might be times that I gotta, because if I try to do this every Sunday, there's gonna be times that I'm gonna have to study this myself and kind of film myself at the shop. If we do this once a week every Sunday, at least we're reading it. Every time we go to places, yeah, I read the Bible, but I'm reading scriptures that are spiritual battle.
Right.
I'm just like way out there. I'm not preaching. This is more preaching, I guess. But we are not a church, because that would be illegal. And we're in a cemetery. What church would be in a cemetery at midnight?
Foundations of a cult that's going to get started.
What?
Nothing.
This is not a cult. We are Christians. Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Are you Christian?
That sounds like a
Yes.
cult.
Well, what would we
it
do
sounds
as
like a
a
cult.
cult? I mean, we're ghost hunters. Okay, yeah, we want to see ghosts.
Christian
wanna
Ghost
post.
Hunter cult.
But we're bending the rules. See, this is where it comes into us bending the rules, because it goes back to anybody consulting with the dead. Right, we're bending the rules. So, but That's all right, because everybody has their own belief, and this is America. Everybody has their own belief. As long as we believe in the same Jesus and the same God, we're kind of in the same cult, I guess. You want to call it a cult? It's not a cult. Well, okay. May we go in peace with open minds and protected hearts. Stand among the resting places of many. Let's remember that every stone tells a story of love and struggle and hope. Our presence here tonight is a reminder that the living can honor the dead, not by fear, but by seeking compassion and peace. Let's also reflect on nature itself. You hear it, right? You hear the nature all around us. Proverbs chapter 25, paragraph 2. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, to search out a matter is the glory of kings. Not all mysteries are meant to be solved. Some are meant to lead us to wonder, humility, and awe. Maybe we walk away here tonight with open heart, with respect for the past, even if the past sucks, right? Lying, stealing, it sucks. But we can all move on from it, right? And that's what this says. If you want to go to heaven, you got to move on from shit, even bad shit.
You just said we weren't a church, and then
We're not a church. What are we then? We're doing Lord's work by reading this Bible. We haven't even read the Bible yet. I just want to be very specific that, we are going to read something. I'm going to read something for y'all. May the God of peace guard us, guide us, and grant us light in the midst of the unknown. What's wrong with him? And, we haven't got any cat ball action. Maybe there is some spirits here that just don't, because, number one, if that cat ball goes off right now, we're not here to really communicate. It's more like, hey, do you need help passing on? Now's the time to pass on, because we're focused on this, nothing else. We don't got 10,000 things going on. So if that cat ball goes off right now, you want some help. Otherwise, don't set that cat ball off. And for the ones that, don't get help passing on, maybe this is give you something. Starting John chapter 15, paragraph 18. The hatred of the world. If the world hates you, know this, it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the world that I said to you, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours. But all these things they will do to you on account of my name, because they do not know him who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would not have been guilty of sin. But now they have no excuse for their sin. Whoever hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done among them the works that no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin, but now they have seen and hated both me and my Father. But the word that is written in their law must be fulfilled. They hated me without a cause. And this is Jesus' disciples. I could read more if y'all want to, but I'm trying to keep this video kind of short. Buddy looks like he's falling asleep. What do you think?
I was listening.
It was good. What did you think? Let's review kind of what we learned tonight.
What part?
Let's talk about trying not to lie, steal, because those are big commandments that
Definitely something that's aligned a lot with what we've been going through here lately. I believe just a lot of people around me. I've seen a lot of lying, but it wasn't until I went through it myself, my own lying and my own, dishonesty, that I really learned that. But it's kind of come full circle whenever you read about it there. Growing up, kids, because you don't really understand the Bible.
You would know fake flexing, yeah.
But you'd know some things that you can read from that. You could learn stuff,
and,
without committing it first.
And something cool about the Bible is that even though you sin, we didn't touch into it tonight. Even though you sin, you could do the worst of the crimes and overcome your sins as long as you find Jesus in your heart. There's a way. You can repent your sins. Plus, I want to further my ministry. I want to be marrying people. I want to, be more confident reading the Bible, right? So that's kind of my goal, but I also want to believe it, right? Follow by it. Maybe it'll give me a meaning of life or something. I don't know. Because there's a lot of good people. What do they follow by? The Bible. Now, I'm not saying every single one. We don't want to go to a church because guess what?
Scientology, what do them guys do?
They believe in an alien or some shit. And I'm actually going to put a little clip here of Donnie, of what he told me. Because, every time I go to the Freemasons, what do I say? I'm going to join the Freemasons.
As long as you talk about God with a group of people, that is a church. You can have a church in a yard, in a garage, in a house.
Wow, amazing. Donnie said, dude, I don't care who you are. If you believe in God, you can be in your front yard talking about God. He said, you could be anywhere. You don't got to join a place to talk about God. And look at us now, a month later. We're in a cemetery talking about God. You don't have to do it in some fucking weird ass place. Or even in a place where, you know, they're going to, you ghost hunt, you know, and that's a lot. I have a lot of Christians, you know, that I know. I'm a big fan, you know, whip out the Ouija board and shits, you know, bad.
And it's wild, like, what gives them the right to know what's right or wrong?
Right.
Really?
Because you know they're bending the rules.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, you know, is that why they get so upset when you do this? Because they're bending the rules
What?
twice as bad.
Brother, your eyeballs are scaring me tonight. Are you on edge?
No.
Did you not see his eyeballs? They literally went,
Yeah, like you seen something over there?
like he's seen something. He did that earlier too.
I'm trying to look around.
What the fuck are you seeing, Jake? You better, if you're seeing paranormal, you gotta tell us.
I
you've
told
seen
you you
it.
shouldn't hit that fucking hit a PCP earlier.
All right, but you know, next, you seen that?
Oh yeah, now who's
Did you
tripping?
see that? You didn't see that light just like?
I was looking over there trying to find my car.
Okay, maybe I am tripping. Anyways, next Sunday, maybe we can meet up Friday night. Maybe we could do, because the thing is, if I post them on Sundays, you know, I have to film it. You know, even if it's 10 minutes of me just reading the Bible, talking about the Bible,
Right.
it's hard to ask that from y'all. But if y'all want to do it, we could do it. Because we're going to the pen, right? So that's kind of like, I got to edit it real quick. Like this video, when I get home, I'm editing it, dropping it tomorrow. But I'm going to try to keep it short, sweet.
Is it
Cut up.
every Friday or this Friday?
Next Friday. Friday before the pen. But whenever we go to the pen, we'll film another Bible study for the next Sunday, right? And it's going to be in the worst place of the pen, and I'll come up with a really good story, and I'll highlight it. It'll be like, you know, people repenting their sins. You know, there is hope. There is this. There is that. Because we're in a bad prison, right? That's the thought.
I like it.
God bless them in there, and, you know, let them know, you know, you can repent your sins. I don't know if you can in the afterlife. If they're stuck in there, that's what it is. You know, if it is, you know, humans that are demons, right? They got sent to hell, somehow made their way back up, right? And now they're demons, and that's why they're demons, right? In theory. They just don't, they can't go above, they can't go below. But what if they can repent their sins in the middle ground in purgatory or whatever they want to call this place? Because I don't think they're seeing the same reality we see, right? Whenever we do interact with the ghosts, I don't think they're exactly seeing what we see.
You don't think so? You
I
think
don't
they're
know.
Just like walking around like we are. But
Because think of the A-frame. Why the fuck would there be a ghost in there? Or even the trailers over there. They gotta be seeing what they seen when they lived there, or it ain't gonna be a pleasant place to stay. Because I would definitely march my happy ass out of here and go haunt Gallardi.
Maybe that's a part of the end, being in the in between. Though, is it's not.
You're not
all
choosing.
roses.
You can't choose.
It's not all roses. You know.
It's not all roses.
Like I imagine it as being, you're in the same world that we're in, but you can't be seen by anybody else.
But you're walking around just like we are.
You can't
Wow.
be seen by anybody else. Or maybe another
That comes
version
into
where-
the theory of invisible creatures, because that's what that is. If they're walking around just like we are, that's pretty much invisible people.
Well, you know, and they also talk about a deal
Like
that's
that
not
game,
even related
Murder,
to spirits, like
Soul
talking
Suspect.
about another dimension where, like, it's like a parallel world with ours.
Right, and they're seeing something a little
And
bit different.
sometimes there'll be cracks in the fucking dimension where you'll hear or see things that, you know, it was really just a whole nother dimension, you know, somebody living their life or whatever.
Well, I would say, don't they often say you see ghosts repeating the same action?
That they do.
So maybe they do, like, you know, maybe they see the world as they did see it, and that's why they're continuing to do that action.
Maybe.
Because if something's fucked up, they can't really do that action, you know?
And that goes a bit further into maybe they think we're the ghosts, right? They're stuck on this, like, very low-key world realm type of thing.
That would be wild.
And we're kind of like intertwining with them, touching their realm.
I just see some motherfuckers dressed in like Yeezys and Jordans and
What the
shit.
fuck? Especially 1800s. The hell is this? Get the fuck out of here. Like the A-frame. You know, whistle, I can't whistle. But what I heard was in my ear.
Man, I remember you freaking out, bro.
And Chase here is asleep, so
Yep.
y'all gotta believe what I say, and I feel like no matter what I say, y'all don't.
I mean, I woke up, you know, right as it happened to him.
And he's standing there.
To be fair, me and Donnie did rush out, so like we
We
heard
didn't have-
something too.
Now we get back in there. We got this cam, that cam. We got a GoPro.
We got to get back in there.
We got cell phones we can put on holders. We're gonna film in every fucking room of the A-frame because I know there's a fucking ghost there. Don't know what his problem is because we're all cool with kind of trying to touch bases with ghosts, but come light our equipment up. Don't fucking just come in fucking swinging. That motherfucker came in swinging, whistling. What the fuck is that? Right? And then timed it perfect. I mean, you can't time it. If you wanted to pull off a heist, right then and there would have been the best. 2 motherfuckers left. Motherfuckers standing up sleeping. You can't time that any fucking
They just
better.
had to take out one person at a time, really.
Don't do
Take
that
out
next
you,
time. We go
then
there.
you.
We go there. Come
where,
and
where
light
it only
up the
gets
device.
one person. Pretty wild.
That's
Maybe
right.
it make you wonder why.
What the fuck? Right?
Whatever. Does it ever make you wonder, like, maybe it's a deal with energy and like it doesn't have enough energy to like do that on, you know, with multiple people?
Maybe, you know, because you're damn well maybe right.
I'm freezing my ass off. Though,
Let's
bro.
get out of here. Cut it off.
Let's roll out.
We did it. We got what we wanted.